So, what are morphogenetic movements exactly? So, morphogenetic movements are nothing but cell movements. So, cells are moving actively in the embryo. Now, why should the cells move during the embryonic development? Because they want to differentiate or establish themselves into the three distinct germ layers, that is ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. So, this kind of cell movement that happens during embryonic development, to be very precise, it happens during a stage referred to as gastrulation, is called morphogenetic movement. In that, we are going to discuss about the first type of morphogenetic movement, which is called emboli. So, in emboli, the first type of morphogenetic movement, we are going to discuss about the first movement that is called invagination. So I'm going to take an embryo of a frog. With respect to frog, we are going to learn about the first type of emboli, that is invagination. So if this is the embryo of a frog, which is called the blastula. So imagine this is the blastula of frog. It is a spherical embryo. It has a lower pole or the vegetal pole. It has an upper pole or the animal pole. Now sitting somewhere here in the blastula, on the surface of the blastula, you can see certain cells which are destined to become mesoderm in the future. So these are the cells whose goal in life is to become mesoderm, but they are sitting on the surface of the cells. They need to move inside the embryo. So that movement happens due to the first type of emboli called invagination. So what happens during invagination is, below the equator, if this is the equator of the embryo, a small depression arises, and this depression is referred to as the blastopore. This process, where the blastopore becomes visible by forming a small depression or an indentation, is referred to as invagination. Okay, now this was the first type of embolus movement in frog embryo. The second type of embolus movement, which I will be discussing now, is called involution. Okay, so after this depression is formed, you can all see that the cells which are lining this depression will start pulling this layer inwards, and as a result the depression will become larger in size and it will become a huge cavity, which is now called the archenteron. Now what will happen is, these cells which are sitting on the surface, these are the mesodermal cells. They have not become mesoderm yet, so I must use the word future mesodermal cells. These future mesodermal cells will converge in this region and they will roll inwards and they will move on the roof of the archenteron. So see, the cells will move along, they will slide or they will diverge along the roof of the archenteron. So these cells were initially on the surface, we saw them on the surface, but now they converge at this point. This region where they converge is referred to as the dorsal lip. So as you can see, they converge at a point called the dorsal lip, and then they start moving on the roof of the archenteron, and this convergence and divergence is referred to as involution. So invagination was formation of a depression, and involution was where these future mesodermal cells will converge onto the dorsal lip and they will start moving. See how they are moving. They are migrating on the roof of this cavity. I told you that this is the cavity that is called the archenteron. The next type of embolus movement is referred to as ingression, which we will be discussing in terms of not frog embryo, but in embryos of certain organisms like coelentrates. So if you consider the embryo of these organisms which are hollow, now this is a blastula which I have shown of a coelentrate like a coelentrate organism like a hydra or a obelia. So it has a hollow embryo called a blastula, and you can see how there is a cavity called the blastocele. The cells which form the wall of the blastula, now these are the cells which form the wall of the blastula. Now these cells all over the embryo, it may be in the upper pole, it may be in the middle pole, middle region on the equator, or in the lower pole, or it may be at any one particular region of the embryo. They will start dividing and they will give out or they will put out daughter cells. See, these cells in the periphery, the wall, are dividing to form daughter cells which will occupy the center of the blastula. So this kind of a movement where the cells in the wall will divide and put out daughter cells to the center is referred to as ingression. Now the fourth type of emboli is referred to as delamination. Delamination is seen in birds and mammals, including in case of humans. In human embryo, in the blastocyst, developing blastocyst, which is, you all know that blastocyst is nothing but the blastula. So there are two layers of cells. There are tall cells which form the epiblast, you have all learnt this, and these cuboidal to flattened cells which form the hypoblast. Initially the embryo is only a two-layered embryo, but then what happens is this two-layered embryo gradually gets converted into a three-layered embryo, and this conversion of two-layered to three-layered happens by a process that is referred to as delamination. So it is seen in birds as well as in mammals. So I'm showing the upper layer here, which is the epiblast, and the lower layer, which is the hypoblast. Notice a new layer of cells has appeared in between the two layers, and this new layer of cells is formed. It converts this two-layered embryo into a three-layered embryo, and this is referred to as the delamination. How did this new layer form? Now these cells which were found in the upper layer, they undergo division to form daughter cells which will migrate, and they will form, or they will occupy the space between the two layers, and they will form the cells of the middle layer. Some of the middle layer cells will also replace the cells in the lower layer. So let me show a double layered membrane to distinguish that some of these cells have come from the middle layer. So this upper layer later becomes the ectoderm, the middle layer later becomes the mesoderm, and the lower layer later becomes the endoderm. So what was a two-layered embryo has now become converted into a three-layered embryo, and this is called delamination. The last type of morphogenetic movement is, again I am going to explain with reference to frog. It is called epibole. We were seeing about the frog embryo. We saw that in the frog embryo initially a small depression is formed, and then later the depression becomes bigger, and then we saw there were future mesodermal cells which were sitting, which converge at this point, and they roll inwards and they occupy the roof of the archenteron. Yes or no? So this we have already discussed. There are certain cells which are sitting in the upper pole of the embryo. These are tiny cells which are located at the upper pole, and these cells want to become, or their goal in life is to become ectoderm. So they are the future ectodermal cells. Now these cells in the upper pole, called animal pole of the embryo, will start dividing and dividing, and they will increase in their number. So see, they have increased in their number now. Now they increase in their number, and after that what happens is they will start spreading over the entire embryo. They will completely cover the entire embryo. This process, where the cells which are restricted to the animal pole, which will multiply repeatedly by mitotic divisions to increase in their number, and they cover, they enshroud the entire embryo, this kind of movement is referred to as epibole. And like I said, the epibole is mostly exhibited by cells which in the future become the outermost germ layer of the embryo, that is referred to as ectoderm.